This is Carlos Cousins, and the following is an ACT English test question that is asking us to identify the best way of wording or rewording the highlighted portion of a sentence. In this case, the sentence reads, one of the most important changes involved the switch from the use of Latin, which was the language of liturgical dramas, to the use of the vernacular, the language of the people. It doesn't seem that there's anything wrong with this particular answer choice. We're going to leave it as such for now, and let's see if we find something better. The use of Latin, the language of liturgical dramas. Already this looks a little bit better. The language of liturgical dramas is much more succinct, it's more concise than which was the language of liturgical dramas. And we've got to the vernacular as opposed to the use of the vernacular. This again is much shorter, so it's a better answer choice. The language of the people, the language of the people. It looks then that like answer choice A cannot be correct, but let's go ahead and move on and see if we find something better. The use of the language of liturgical dramas, which was Latin. Again, a little bit too wordy, not concise enough, so we're going to get rid of that one as well. The use of Latin, the language of liturgical dramas, to the language of the people, comma, their vernacular. What's confusing here is there is ambiguous. We've got the use of Latin, the language of liturgical dramas, to the language of the people. Since we don't have a comma here, it doesn't seem like the language of liturgical dramas is describing Latin, and on top of that, because we don't have another comma here, it would seem, even if we assume there was a comma here, if we read it that way, the language of liturgical dramas to the language of the people would seem to be the definition of Latin, which is not. Latin isn't a shift of language, it is a language itself. It's very, very ambiguous. This sentence isn't very clear. So that's why this answer choice doesn't make sense either, and B then is the correct answer choice. I hope that helped with this problem. Happy prepping.